100. It's a short bed, and I'll kind of bring you in here and give you a closer look at it, and you can kind of see what's going on with it. A couple months ago from an older guy who started actually restoring it, and he did most of the frames, well, all of the frame suspension has been painted and refurbished and parts replaced, and he did a pretty good job. Basically, all that's really left to do is the body work on it, which I'm not going to be doing much of. I'm just gonna go for the patina look. I'm gonna go with a matte clear coat to kind of preserve what's there. It's been repainted in this faded blue color that you're seeing right now. We'll kind of give you a walk around here and kind of give a little more detail, give you a better idea. So the frame and suspension has all been redone, like I said earlier. It's got new exhaust as well. All the running gear, the engine, transmission, rear axle is from a, I believe he told me a 66 Chevy C10. So it's got a 12 bolt rear end. It's an open diff. It's a 3-speed manual, floor shift. It's got a 283 V8. So it's kind of a neat, neat old vintage hot rod, and I kind of just plan to keep it with the same theme. Just kind of preserve what's here and make it run and drive well. Might add power steering or something like that just for the drivability factor, but yeah, gonna keep it pretty basic. Some stuff I did off camera was mostly interior work. The interior was kind of a spray painted blue color. It was really glossy, it wasn't really well done. It didn't look real great. I opted to repaint it, and I painted it in this Pulsar gray color, which is actually an original color for a 54 to 55 Chevy pickup. So it's not original or era correct to this vehicle, but I liked it a lot. I like this color a lot better than the originals for the 47 to 53 color. So this is what I went with. Pretty happy how it turned out. I just flat out sprayed it. I didn't do really any body work, or I didn't even strip the old paint. I just kind of scuffed and went over. And it turned out good enough. Kind of with the theme of the truck, I didn't want it to turn out real good. So I'm fairly happy with it. So when it's all together and all said and done, we'll see how it looks, but I think it looked pretty decent. So yeah, I gotta finish out the interior and put the front clip on, and I'm working towards right now getting it weatherproof, so, you know, putting the window regulators and fur channels and felt channels and stuff like that in it, so it's waterproof, so I can, you know, dawn wash it or comet wash it, and do my clear coat. So that's what I'll be working on today, and I'll kind of show you step by step how I'm doing it. I have the window channels here that I spray painted. They were kind of crusty looking, so the windows here, took those up to spray paint the frames. They're kind of crusty looking. I'm gonna be putting these felts in, which the new ones were really ragged, and one was actually missing half of it. So we're gonna put these felt channels in, and so yeah, we'll take it from there. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna attempt to put in these felt window channels. They fit right in here in the window frame, and the window cranks and slides up into these, and that's what gives you your seal and kind of keeps it on track and keeps it from rattling around in there. So that's what we're gonna do right now. And kind of how these work is, I've watched a couple different videos on YouTube on how to do it, and it's gonna be really hard to show you on camera, but they basically slide down inside the channel here, and there's little kind of stops or clips, if you will, that these kind of lock into, and you have to cut them to length. So it's gonna be tricky, but I'll do my best here and see if we can get them on. destroy it trying to put it in here because they're not cheap. They're $100 a pair. Patience is not my strong suit, so. A little antsy at times. Okay, now's the tricky part. So when I was installing this, I kind of showed it to you outside of the door. It's obviously way too long. So what they want you to do, from another video I watch on YouTube, is to fit this in the best you can and mark it down here in the door, which is going to be nearly impossible to show you on camera, but I'll give it a shot. So here's what I've kind of trying to, it's going to be hard to see here on camera, but there's actually a little, there's a little channel and a little groove down in there. It's nearly impossible to see on the camera. What you have to do is somehow mark that and then bring it back out and cut it. And you have to be pretty precise because that's kind of somewhat what this relies on from what I've been told, to hold it up into the window frame tightly. So we'll see if we can, I'm gonna do that. I think it got it pretty good after a lot of fighting. So I got it marked with my tape. And now, we're gonna see how good my depth perception is. Hopefully it's pretty good. We'll find out. I'm gonna cut these a little bit long. I know I have two pieces of tape there. One was not even close. This is the close one. I cut it just a bit long, just using some tin snips. And so, see how close I get. As you can see, these are pretty pliable. So you can kind of bend them and do whatever to make them fit, which is nice. So good we did, how accurate I am, my depth perception. It's pretty accurate. $100 right on it, so we'll see. Okay, so it's pretty decent. Now we're going to move on to putting in our window regulators. Okay, this is our passenger side regulator, I believe. And for a lot of people at home, I'll kind of show you. I'm sure a lot of you probably ran across this, especially if you're working on vehicles from 40s and 50s. It's really common. It's what's called a clutch head. And it takes a special driver. So I can get it on camera here. Kind of give you the idea what it looks like. They called it a clutch head. It's kind of funny looking. It's kind of I really don't even know how to describe it, but this is what it looks like. And it's called a clutch head. I get a special screwdriver for them. They don't work the greatest, but they're not too bad either. When they're seized up and rusty, they're kind of a bad get off. But none of these were too bad. And we're gonna reuse them. So let's get this regulator in here. Can't see, and again, will be near impossible to show you because I can barely see it with my own eyes. There's 3 rollers, and there's another, what you call channel for the roller. It's on the inside of this door. You got to get that 3rd lower one into it without really seeing it. It's kind of all I feel. Okay, so I think we got it. Pretty good. Okay, let's take our window here. Let's kind of try to fit it in here as best I can. For for these, you just take screws that screw into that channel there. Oops, Phillips head. It's a regular Phillips head. I'm gonna put a little bit of anti-seize on these. They were extremely difficult to get off. If they strip, they're real bare. So I'm gonna help the next guy. They've been monkeyed with, and somebody taking them on and off very recently. They're still tough to get. So we'll throw some anti-seize on there. We got our window in. It seems to be functioning pretty well. I figured out to get a better fitting Allen. Socket to pull this up nice and tight. It seems to work out pretty good. It's working. Should, I mean, about the best you can expect for a vehicle that's 70 some years old, you know. It's not tickled to death with it, but not dissatisfied either. So, it's some of my. Okay, so I'll give you kind of a closer look at what I'm working with. See if you can zoom in. Oh, there we go. I just went ahead and used, just threw some self-tappers in there. The old ones, when they came out, you can kind of see in the corner here. I don't know if you can see, they're hard to see. Then one up in this corner again. Zoom in for me. Oh, no, maybe not. You can kind of see it right there. Okay, so we got the driver's side window regulator assembly installed. Got my window felts in. Turned out pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with it. I wish the fit up top in here was a little bit tighter, but you know, it kind of is what it is. Hopefully there won't be a ton of wind noise and everything will work out great and I'll be happy. So there's that. And next up, we're going to be working on weather stripping. Okay, so what I got going on here for weather stripping is in these trucks, I use what's called a wind lace. I'm trying to get a good shot in here, but it's basically a channel that runs across the top and the sides of the door frame. And then you have, to focus in there for me. Oh, come on. Well, it's not want to cooperate, but I think you kind of get the gist of it. It slides in. Oops. Kind of slides this rubber here. There we go, there's a good shot of it. Slides in, you kind of pull it around, which should be a real fight. It should be really tough. I've heard it's really tough. I've got a couple ways I'm gonna try to do it. Some people try to pull it all the way around the channel, and some people try to kind of wedge it in there and then use like a trim tool or a screwdriver or something like that to push the other side in. So I'm probably gonna try whatever will work the best for me. So we'll see how that goes. Then on the door side, I'm probably not putting this in right, I believe it goes this way. You have this weather stripping. Okay, so here I am working on this wind lace. And man, it's a really difficult job. Basically, I tried using this Ideal lubricant gel, which is actually meant for pulling wires through conduit, like for electricians. I found on an internet forum some people recommended that, but I didn't have any luck with that. It was horrible to work with. I hated it. It made a huge mess. So what I'm doing here is just using a regular old, if I can get in the shot here, trim tool. I got it at Harbor Freight, and just slowly but surely get it in here, just working it just into the channel there, and it is just inch by inch, you know. It's very difficult. So we'll see how it goes. Gonna be here a while working on this, so not a fun job. Kind of show you what I've been doing with this wind lace. If I can bring you in here and give you a good look at it. It's really hard. It's just kind of a strip of weather stripping that runs along the channel, runs along the door frame, and it was extremely difficult to put in. It took me 4 hours at least. So if you're working on one of these old trucks and you have a windlace that is maybe salvageable, I would say go ahead and try to keep it, because it was a bear of a job. It was really unpleasant, not a lot of fun. I'm glad it's over with. So I'm gonna give you a better look there if I can. This kind of comes down like that. So I'm picking back up on this 50 Chevy interior project here, and it's been about a week and a half since I last messed with it. I just had some things come up and I've been busy, so I haven't had a chance to mess with it. So I'll kind of bring you in here and show you what I've got accomplished. Okay. Got the door weather stripping put on, and this just glues on. It glues on and it kind of bends funny at the bottom. Then there's a little retainer also at the bottom that holds it. So I got that all put on. And the correct way to actually do that is to take the door off and put the weather stripping on. I didn't do that. I don't think these doors have ever been off, so I didn't want to take them off, just being lazy. But I did it while I was on the truck, and it was a real mess. It turned out pretty good, but just have a lot of glue here and there that I couldn't get cleaned up. So it's decent enough. I can live with it. Today I'm going to be working on the headliner. We're gonna get that put in. I'm gonna try to get the seat put in, and get some of the gauges in. Try to finish off the interior as much as I can. But here's the headliner that we're gonna be putting in. I got it from LMC Truck, and it's just the cheapest version you could get. It's just kind of a cardboard or particle board. It's real chintzy, but it didn't cost a lot of money, so hopefully it'll turn out decent. It kind of use these bows here. Will focus in for me. We got a whole pile of parts here. It goes into these bows, it slides into them. This one bolts to the back. This one is in the middle, and then these pieces of windshield trim hold it in the front. So hopefully we can get it up without a lot of trouble, and yeah, hopefully it'll look pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna start out with our first headliner bow here. Let's see if I can climb in here. Be real careful so I don't scratch anything. So what I'm going to do here is start all my screws is the plan. I've never done this before. I'm going to start all my screws, and then I'm going to try to get the rear edge of the headliner wedged in there and tighten them. Hopefully it'll hold it enough where I can get the middle end and then the other, but it's kind of going to be a rigmarole, pretty sure, just because the headliner is so flimsy. Give it my best shot here. This is what I'm working on here, kind of give you a better look at what's going on. This is the first headliner bow, and it has all these screws in it, and the headliner is actually notched to slide into there. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do next. And like I said, hopefully it's stiff enough, but I doubt it, to kind of hold itself up so I can get the next piece in that just pushes in and hopefully get it all put in there. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so it looks like we got it in there, and it's actually fairly stiff. That went a lot better than I thought it was gonna go. Looks pretty nice too. Let's see if I had to take a screw out over here to make it go a little better. Whoops. Ooh, that was close. Careful now. So what I'm doing there is pulling the windlace up over the headliner, so it gives a nice, real nice finished look. That does look pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with that. Okay, there we go. There's that apart. Okay, so I got this second headliner bow in, and it just slides in there. This part slides in the top. I think I have it the right way. Then the other piece slides in like that, and then it slides into here under the window frame. It turned out decent. You can see it crinkled up in the corner there, which I don't like, but it's good enough for what I'm doing. This little wire here is actually for the dome light. It runs from there and then it runs down the pillar. Anyway, we'll get the next piece up and hopefully we'll have a finished headliner that looks somewhat decent. It's really humid out today, so it's really not helping. With the, instead of kind of want to stay put, it's wanting to bend sharply, which is not good. I'll see if we can make it work. Okay, so I got my headliner all in, and it turned out pretty good. It was a struggle, I will say that. It's just been one of the most humid days we've had yet this year, and it just wanted to fold up on me constantly. It was just hard to get it to fit. I'd recommend doing like a one piece, and you can get like a one piece. I think it's like plastic or something like that. I would highly recommend doing that. This was difficult. Wasn't a lot of fun. I didn't put a lot of it on video because like I said, it was a struggle, but mostly from shame. Anyway, but yeah, you can see how this window trim holds the front of it up. It probably wouldn't be too bad if you had two people, two sets of hands, one person by themselves. It was definitely a struggle, but got it in. Turned out decent. I had to trim it a little, couple of spots I'm not real wild about, but you know, it's good enough for what I'm doing, and I'm fairly happy with it. So next up, I'll put the chrome trim piece in the middle. Probably do some fun stuff. Probably do the glove box, speaker cover, gauges, stuff like that. So yeah, I'll get cracking on that next. Next up, I'm going to put in the glove box, and this is just kind of a similar material as the headliner. It's just kind of a cardboard type of deal. Has these little, I mean, you can see from here, these little threaded kind of staple type things. You just shove it up in here into the, so I got it going the right way. Shove it in here up into these grooves. Throw a couple screws in it. I don't have the right screws on hand. I have some that'll work, hopefully, so let's start it here maybe. This glove box is really old. It came with the truck. It looks like it's been sitting somewhere musty for a long time. It's got out of shape and not wanting to conform real well to the actual opening, but I think I can make it work. So
So I got my glove box in, and now what I'm doing is I'm installing these hinges for the glove box door, and kind of finagle these in from behind the dash. You can do it with this in or out. It's probably easier if you do it without the actual glove box insert in. That's the way I did it, and it worked for me. So that's what I'm going with. These do have some adjustment in them, so if you screw them down and they're catching up top, you can move them down, which is nice. So I'll get my glove box door, put that on. I'm trying to do is I'm trying to line these up exactly how they came off originally when I unscrewed them. I can tell because where I painted it. I got them fairly close, so hopefully it's shut decent. Oh, that's not good. If we can get it open again. It's like we need to move it over here so it actually that looks. So there's actually a lot of stuff I don't show on camera necessarily. So a lot of this stuff, a lot of these parts are 70 years old going on, 74 years old, yeah. And it's just a lot of fiddling around, trying to get stuff to fit and trying to get it to function well. Oh, there's some of that problem. And so yeah, it's just really fiddly. What's happening here is this is actually bent. This is tweaked. This is actually bent here where it latches, so it's not. I should be able to fix that pretty easily. So I'm just gonna use a punch and a hammer to try to manipulate this if I can. I'm not gonna have room to hit it, am I? That's what we got. A little bit. So I got it on here. I'm just really not happy with the way it's fitting. I don't know if the hinges are worn out or if when they were new they didn't fit all that great or not, but I really not real happy with how it fits. Okay, so this just goes on with basically these trim pieces. Sandwich this cover like so, and a couple nuts on the back side and upside down, and you're good to go. Go with that. That one. Now I am gonna put a radio. I just don't have it yet, and a lot of the electronics, like the switches, ignition switch, the headlight switch, that type of thing, I'm gonna leave till later, till I get ready to wire it. So I can just feed the wires through, wire it up, and then put it in once and for all and not have to go back and forth and take things apart. And I'm hoping that'll work pretty slick. I'm just gonna leave all this stuff finger tight for now because this has to come off anyways because the speaker sits behind this. But I want to get an idea of how it's going to look, and the glove box will stay, among other things that I'm going to install. So yeah, that's pretty neat. This is a little better angle for you, the finished product. I'm fairly happy with the way it turned out. I'm really not happy with the glove box, but who knows? They could have been that way when they were new for all I know. Anybody out there that knows how to adjust them is more familiar, leave a comment. I'd like to know. But yeah, this is the stainless, and I painted the middle the same Pulsar gray as the rest of it. I'm not really sure if that's correct or not, but I've seen others do it. So that's what I did. I thought it'd look pretty nice. The Chevrolet script I painted red, as you can see there. I believe normally they're always painted black, but I kind of felt like if I did it that way, the interior would be kind of drab looking. So kind of want to spruce it up a little bit. But yeah, most of the stuff, the paint I bought a Pulsar gray. It's for a 54 to 55 Chevy interior. I got it from Jim Carter Truck Parts. I ordered a lot of stuff from them. I'm really happy with them. They got a lot of high quality parts. LMC does pretty good too. I like LMC. I like Jim Carter a little bit better. And some of that has to do with, I believe they're in Independence, Missouri, which I'm in southern Iowa. So whenever you buy something, the shipping's extremely quick and they get it out right away. So I've been really happy with them. But yeah, in case anybody's wondering, it's Pulsar Gray and you can buy it online like me. Oh, almost forgot. The crown jewel, the ashtray. Awesome. Cool, now I feel like I've really accomplished something. It's coming along somewhat. So yeah, if you're a smoker, I got a cigarette lighter and an ashtray, so awesome. Next up, I'm gonna install the door panels here. These are just kind of a cardboard, probably the same material as the headliner. So we started on that. You can buy, I recommend using them, these little foam spacers. These I put on with just double-sided tape and I got the positions the best I could from the factory assembly manual, so it should be fairly correct. Either way, I don't think it's too big a deal. Basically, this goes on like this, and we have a trim ring that goes around it. There's an armrest that goes right here, and they do not include holes for that, so I'm going to mark my own here. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to take a red paint marker. And there I already have the screws put in place. I'm just going to cover the screws in this red paint. Set it up here as best I can. Just push it up against that. Which, yeah, it's hard to tell on camera, but at least two faint, you probably can't see it, two faint red dots. So that'll give us our mark. Whoops. I'm gonna go drill my holes, and I just spray a little acetone on these screws to get the red paint off. It probably wouldn't matter. I don't believe you can really see them. But either way, it takes a minute to do. Okay, so I got my holes drilled. And I'm just going to put in, let me take this one out. So I'll just put a screw in here to get it, just to hold it a little. Then what I'll do trim piece. Oops, I actually did that the wrong way. What I'm gonna do here is get this top bit started. These are tricky and are not a lot of fun to deal with. Wish I had money to pay somebody to do this stuff, but I don't. So. You know how it goes. Beach somewhere, relaxing. Well, as you can see, I got my door panel on, but not without a lot of fiddling. I ended up having to trim it. It's just, you know, I don't really want to knock the quality of the parts that much. I think they're decent. Some of the design is tricky to deal with. I'll bring you in here in a second after got some new armrests. Gonna throw these on real quick. So we got that on. Now we're gonna put our door handles on here. And they call for this inside door handle, according to the assembly manual, to be pointed down. And how these work, you pull to open, you pull that way to lock. And it's the same on the driver's side, that's how you lock the doors. You push this would be unlocked, this would be locked, you'd slam it to lock both doors. And on the passenger side, there is a key that I believe unlocks it, but I don't have the key. I do have the lock, so I probably won't have doors that lock, but that's okay. And there's our window crank. So that's one door. Just about done. All we have left for the door is a chrome window trim piece, and I'll go grab that right now. So here's the finished product. Got the door panel on, armrests, door handles, got the nice stainless trim. So that's what a finished out door looks like. So I mean, it turned out decent. I'm not disappointed, I'm not overly happy, but it's not too bad, you know. The door panels leave a lot to be desired. I don't recommend them. Just what comes in the kit is just this piece of cardboard for the panel. This is actually, I believe, to be factory. I don't know, I just got a bunch of parts in a box with this truck. But yeah, you can kind of, you get in close, you can kind of see where it doesn't fit well at all. I'd elongate that hole a lot, and you know, you're probably not going to win any shows, but for me, it's good enough. It's a lot better than it was, and I'm fairly happy with it. From a distance, it looks decent, so that's what I'm after. So I'm still hammering away here at this dash, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to install the throttle and choke cables, which go right here and right here. Kind of from my understanding is originally these trucks had a start pedal, and you turn the key and you push a separate pedal to get it to turn off and start. So I'm assuming these were, while you're pushing with your foot, you're using these to adjust the throttle and choke to get it to start. So I'm gonna do is install these in their original holes. I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna wind it up with zip ties. It'd be a lot cleaner just to cut them off, but they look to be original. They might be original, I don't know. I don't know if they are or they aren't, but if by chance they were, I don't have the heart to destroy something that survives this long on the planet, so. These should theoretically be pretty easy. Put that one, like it's in there good and tight. Okay, so now we got our throttle, our choke cable. I wish that was a little straighter there. That's not too bad, I guess. That's not too shabby. Okay, so we got our throttle and our choke in. Looks pretty decent. Excited. There's kind of a mess going on up underneath here, but I'll have to squirrel up under there and get it cleaned out. Next up is the speedometer. So I get these in. Really start looking good in here. Really look like we're making some progress. It's tough because it doesn't really feel like I'm doing a ton. I'm really not. But some of this stuff, just to get it to fit, the fit and finish type of deals, it just takes a lot of time. It's fiddly. I use that word a lot, but in this case, it's 100% true. Everything's just extremely fiddly, like nothing wants to fit together. If anything, oops, I did that wrong. You just mess around with it for hours on end, and it's starting to come together now. These actually go in from this side. There's little studs. This might be tricky to do. Oops. Oops. Where are we here? There we go. There we go. These are secured on the back side, so that'll be tricky to get to as well. Just these little tiny 3/8 nuts. There's 4 of them. Okay, so I got the speedometer in. These wires around here. And next up I'm gonna put in the gauge cluster. What I didn't show you off camera is that I actually had all these studs in here, had paint and rust and what have you. So I had to actually get in there, and some I used pliers. My fingers, they're so tight. Had to run a dye on all the threads to clean them up before I get any nuts on them and get them nice and tight. My handy dandy gear wrench ratcheting. Get a closer look there. My gear wrench ratcheting tap and die set. It's like 170 some pieces, like 190 bucks on Amazon. One of the best deals I've ever bought. It's been a lifesaver. So here's my instrument cluster, and this has all your standard issue gauges: fuel, oil pressure, voltmeter, temperature. Pretty basic. Hopefully it works. I don't think these are original. I believe they're repopped, but I really don't know. They're in really good shape, I know that, which leads me to believe they're probably not original, but they came with the truck and they're pretty nice, so that's what we're gonna go with. This one's gonna be extra tricky because I don't have the luxury now of having a hole to look and feel through. But figure it out one way or another, I suppose. Gotta really use your core strength for this type of workout, tell you what. So, that was difficult. Managed to shimmy up under there, got these in good and tight. Looking nice. Things in the orientation it's supposed to be in, I'm pretty sure. So, pretty happy with that. I clean up these cables. Get those out of the way. I'm gonna curl those up nice and tight and zip tie them up underneath there so I don't have to cut them or do anything else with them. Just kind of keep them up out of the way. Nice and tidy looking. The wiring up under there I'll probably fight with for probably the next 500 years, but it's the way it goes. I'm pretty psyched. It's looking good. Yeah, not much left. Got to put a radio in. I got that ordered. It's not here yet. This hole right here is for a headlight switch. I'm not 100% sure what the other one's for, but headlight switch, the ignition, I don't know what that is. This would be the windshield wiper switch. Got those all in. I'm gonna wait on the other ones till I wire it, so I can just do my wiring, connect my connectors, boom, plug it in, be done, and not have to undo it all, and or like you see there, lay on my back for 100 years and try to figure out connectors and sort things and all that. But so I'm pretty pleased so far. So it's not bad. I mean, it's not a concourse restoration by any means, but it's a good driver. I think it'll make a real good driver. I really do. So here we got our gauge cluster, got our door all done. Looking good. It's coming together. Kind of give you a look up underneath here. I'll show you what I'm dealing with. It's fairly difficult. It's just so hard because, as you can see, how this seat frame is, how it's raised up, so you only really have that little bit, and it's just it doesn't look as bad, but when you try to get up under there, man, it's a real pain. It really is. See if I can give you a good shot. There's my windshield wiper. Came with an electric windshield wiper. Motor right there. This is kind of, it's hard to even get a good shot on. It is pretty difficult. It's not horrible, but kind of you get the idea. Okay, so we got our seat cover started here. It's black, obviously, and it has a kind of a grainy texture to it. I bought this at Jim Carter Truck Parts. Seems to be pretty decent quality. It's marked clearly, so you know the orientation. And so far, no complaints. Happy with it. Let's see if we can get it on here. There you go. That was fairly easy. We'll see how well it... Man, that's tight. I put a lot of cushion in it just because I didn't want it to be loose. I think we can stretch it, no problem. I think it'll look pretty good. That, and if I had to bet, I'm sure the suspension leaves a little to be desired, so any extra cushion you can get, I think will be a big deal. Really help. That's tight. That's gonna be tight. Wish I could get it just a hair more pulled my way. So we got a little slack, a little excess on the backside there. I think that'll work. I think that'll be just enough. That's a really good fit. I don't hate it. Don't hate it. What I'm using to install these, a lot of people use a hog ring. I'm using what they call, you could look at that. I'll bring it in closer in a minute. They call them a C-clip. And Jim Carter, Chevy Truck Part website, recommends these over the hog rings. So far, I'm actually a fan because they're pretty slick. I'll put a few on here and I'll bring you in and show you.
exactly how they go on, because there's actually not a lot of information on these on the internet. I had to kind of figure it out for myself, which I try not to do a lot of. Okay, so I got my seat cover about done here using these little clips, and it gave me a really hard time. The seat back, they worked really slick because they just clipped over. Get you a better shot here where one of them is actually at. Just clips over kind of more vertically like that. This one, the lower seat cushion, the frame is different. And so what you kind of can see what I did is there's a little lip right there. I ended up just doubling it over and just smashing the clip up. It seems to be holding good, but I really had a heck of a time figuring out how to do this. It's real tight. It seems to be holding, so I'm pretty happy with it so far. I got this seat cover from Jim Carter, Truck Parts, and they recommend using these clips. I think the reason they do is because I don't think this would hold up to a hog ring. The material is really thin. I think it would just rip the rings right out. So they recommend these. And I tried to call their tech line, and they didn't really know what to tell me. But I ended up figuring it out after a lot of fiddling. And I think it's good to go. If not, these seats come out. The seat cushions, or the lower seat cushion, the seat back, they come out really easily. So if I do have an issue, I can maybe try something different, try a hog ring or something. I don't know. I'm not. They look good, but I'm just not real impressed with the clips on the back. I'll show you here. This would be the seat back, and that's how they worked out for the seat back. And it was really slick, really easy. You could pull them nice and tight. They seem to hold really good. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but got to figure it out. Okay, so here's our finished product. Like I said, it turned out okay. I'm fairly happy with it. Could have been better, but it could have been worse as well. So can't complain too much. Good enough for me. I know that. Yeah, those they call them C clips, upholstery C clips, and I don't know. I couldn't find a whole lot of information online about them. So if anybody out there watching in internet land is familiar with them, leave a comment. But for now, I think we're going to throw these bad boys in and see what it really starts to look like in that interior. So we got the seat bottom in. I'll show you how these go. Basically, it just hooks into grabs onto this bar. There's some hooks in there, and to keep it from sliding forward. That's all it does, is keeps it from sliding forward. Then the seat back, there's 3 prongs that fit into each of those 3 holes, and just wedges it in there. And then there's 3 screws on top. And so it's pretty simple. It's easy to take in and out. So we'll get the seat back in. Okay, so I kind of steered you wrong in that last clip. Actually, the seat back goes on first, and then you wedge the bottom seat in like so, and then just push down. It comes apart kind of the same, I guess. You take this. When I took it apart, I took the seat back off and pulled it up, but I had the whole seat and seat frame out of the truck, so that kind of caused me some confusion. Let's get her put in. Okay, here she is. I'm going to call it finished. Oh, somewhat. Still need the radio, which I have ordered. A couple little clips, which I'm also waiting for to come in, that I ordered. And I have the rearview mirror, just goes on when you put the clips in. Got my dome light in. Got the seat in. Looks good. So yeah, it's been a long haul on this one, but it's been fun. Had ups and downs. I got the rubber floor. I do have that. I'm going to address some issues with need to bleed the brakes, and I need to have some issues with the shifter I need to take care of as far as the shift boot and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave that out for now. Other than that, I'm calling it done.
Well, that does it for this round of repairs at Crown Auto. Um, Next episode, I'm going to be doing something I've been looking forward to a lot. I know a lot of people do. So I'm going to wash this baby up, give it a nice clear coat, a matte clear, and we'll see what it looks like. This thing's really coming together. I think that'll really set it off. I think it'll look really neat. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for that. It's the whole reason I bought the pickup was that type of idea in mind, just doing a clear coat and protected what's here and preserve it on it. But anyways, I'll be doing that next episode. And if you like this episode, like and subscribe. That's it for this week on Crown Auto Garage. Thanks.